Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to try different parameter settings on different stains and different cabinet doors. What I did is I picked up a bunch of cabinet doors from Habitat for Humanity, tried to pick out different things with what I think is a different coating on the top. And what we'll do is we'll plug in a bunch of different parameter settings, test them out, see how they do, see what works best, and see how important dialing those parameter settings in actually is. Because I know a lot of people are always asking, what's your parameters? What settings are you using? Um, is minor adjustments going to make a big difference? Are big adjustments going to make a minor difference? Let's get into it, see what we find out. Uh, Hope you stay to the end. If you have something that I could have done better in this video, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll read all the comments. Not that there's a lot of them. Um, and if you have any other suggestions of what you'd like to see me try out, uh, feel free. Let me know. Thanks, and enjoy the video. So I lost the audio in the first few clips, so I'll go ahead and try and dub in audio to explain what's going on in the beginning. Like I said, at the beginning, I got a bunch of cabinets from Habitat for Humanity. And on this first one, you can see the lines drawn out, and then we'll fill in the power percentage, followed by the kilohertz, and then the nanoseconds that we're using. And we'll do that on this initial piece. And then as we go along, each cabinet will stay with that setting. We'll see what kind of results we get. And then each time we come back to this, we'll adjust our settings, write it here on the cabinet, and go from there. See what kind of results we get. All right, here you go. Okay, on this one, we're going to start 80% power, 65 kilohertz, 85 nanoseconds. As you can see here, it's ripping right through it. What I'm using is a air jet or air knife to clear the debris as we go. As you can see, this setting is working fantastically. Can't beat that. Looks great. So here we're going to be working with a gray painted cabinet door. As you can see, I've already done some testing on it, but we're gonna give it a go. See if we can at least get back down to the white primer. Um, we'll probably take 2 swipes at this. See how it comes out after 2. You can see here we're taking off the initial gray. You can see kind of a brown primer, and below that you can see the white. Come back, give it a second cleaning. See how close to white we can get. You can see we're getting rid of the brown primer and getting us down to white. I'm assuming that it was probably painted white, then they primered it and painted it gray over that primer. But we're getting close to cleaning off that gray. So here we have a very light colored cabinet. A lot of times these are the toughest ones to clean. We'll see how it goes. There wasn't really a protective polyurethane coating over the top. So as you can see, without that polyurethane protective coating, it comes right off. Pretty easy job to do. Hard to tell from pictures if it's going to come out that good. You got to test a sample, see how it works out, but that's definitely a job you'd want to take. It's as easy as it gets. Here we go with a darker color. hopefully it comes up easier. As you can see, I haven't tested this sample yet, so let's see what it does. Sorry about the compressor. As you can see, it comes up. I don't know how well you can see the surface coming up, but without the air knife, it would have been tougher because you would have been reburning on the surface coating that you were taking off. So it's imperative that you have an air gun, air knife, blow off the surface that you're cleaning. That way you're not recontaminating the surface with what you've just cleaned off. So let's go on to the next piece. All right, here we obviously have a white panel. I see so many videos and so many people trying to clean white back to the wood. You're wasting your time. There's entirely too much effort you have to put in to get to wood. The payday's just not there. What I will show you on this, because I have experimented with white trying to get to the wood, and it's almost impossible. However, if you do get a job that you have a customer that has white cabinets, what you should see this do is take this white down to a gray primer, if this cabinet has the gray primer on it, and then you have a perfectly clean surface to go from there that they can paint whatever color they want. But if you have a job where people have white cabinets, don't waste your time, pass on the job. Unless they're going to paint the white cabinets another color, then you can tell them you can get it back to primer. So let's take a look at this. I don't know how well it shows up in the camera, but basically taking it right back down to the primer. I'd do one more pass on this to clean up the zebra striping, but there you have a perfect surface for paint adhesion. Any grease, oil, fingerprints, whatever is off of it and it's ready to paint. Don't try and go to wood, you're wasting your time. So here's another piece with a dark stain on it. As you can see up here, I've cleaned it. I have no idea what those settings were because I cleaned this weeks ago. So see how this one comes out. So as you can see, you really need this air knife to get the surface clean. Because you see right at the end, I kind of paused and let the burn mark. Always keep your laser moving. That way you don't end up with this. But yeah, came out great with an air knife. Here's another cabinet with a light color. So we'll see how this one comes out. As you can see, came out beautifully. You could just take a little Scotch-Brite, take off a little bit of the leftover. I'd do that job all day, every day. So as you can see, I've been messing with this cabinet, but we'll do. We should have enough spots here. We could do a bunch of trials on it. We'll stay with the same setting. Ideally, I think I would take this setting and bump it up to 100%, but let's see what it does at 80%. So as you can see, it got us almost there on the first pass. Let's do one more pass on it. There you have it, black paint, right back to the wood. If this was white paint, we'd still be sitting running a laser over and over and over. Piece of cake. Another dark sample. We have messed with this one, but don't remember the settings that we played with it. See where it's at right here. So as you can see, it lightened it, but it did not get the top protecting coat off. Because when it does, it should pop like that. So with these settings, it just wasn't powerful enough to basically get that top coat heated. Because when it does, it starts to bubble, and when you get the air gun under it, it just starts popping it off in big chunks. So remember that, see if we can adjust the settings, get higher power, and get that to pop. All right, so now we're back to the original. We're going to keep it at 80% power. We'll change the kilohertz to 40, and then we'll jump the nanoseconds up to 250. See if it makes any difference, good or bad. As you can see, essentially the exact same results. I think this one, no matter what settings you set it to, is going to come out perfect. It just doesn't have a polyurethane protective coat on it. But here we go with the gray painted one. We'll go ahead and give it a second pass. The second pass. So as you can see, very similar results to the first one. Nice light colored one. As you can see, basically identical results to the last one. Beautiful results. It's hard for you to see on the camera, but there is a lot of material getting blown straight up. That's why it's great to have a fan clearing this, and then your air knife. Keep that material off the lens of your handheld laser. But worked perfectly. Back to the dreaded white. Looks the same. Same as the first setting on another dark piece. Great results with the help from the air knife. As you can see, it comes off as easy as can be. So let's see if it changes anything with the black. If you remember last time, we had to do 2 passes. Basically the same thing, 2 passes. So this is the one we were able to lighten, but not get the top protective coating off. Let's see if we have any difference with this different nanosecond setting. Nope, looks like same results. We're taking out some of the color underneath, but we're not able to get that protective coating to bubble up enough to pop. All right, back to the beginning piece of wood. Let's go with something very aggressive. 20 kilohertz, 450 nanoseconds, typically a rush removal type setting. Let's see what we do to this wood. As you can see, same as the other 2 settings. Works perfect, but this is an easy piece of wood to clean. It's just not much of a protectant on it. Now with that aggressive setting, let's see if we can make any kind of difference on this gray paint. Remember, it was a 2 pass, so we'll do the same. Actually might have done a little bit worse, but we'll see what happens after the second pass. We'll go a little bit slower. So as you can see, the results are very similar to the first 2. I happen to notice the second pass got us closest to the wood. I think that might be the best so far as getting this item closest to the wood. All right, another light piece. Sure, it's going to come right off. As you can see, almost exactly the same results. I can't see a difference. And I know it's harder under the camera to see a difference, but that was easy peasy. See if it makes a difference on this. This is the one where we have to air gun the top coating off. Trying to keep the gun out of your camera view. Exactly the same results. Comes out beautifully. Here comes Whitey. I can't tell a difference. Second pass should even it up. I think this one may have come off a little bit easier getting that top coating to pop, but really not much faster at the end of the day. Great results across the board. This is going to come out the same as all the other ones. I kind of started off out of focus. That was my bad. Also, I don't know if you can see underneath here, we've got some darker wood that's kind of coming through when we take it off. But essentially, I think the results are the same. Now for the black paint, we'll do this small section right here. Probably going to take us two passes. There's one. And two. Now with the more aggressive parameters, maybe we can finally get the top coat on this to pop. That's what we're looking for right there. Now we're not getting it to pop here. Not sure why. Let's just maybe a lighter coatings work. But there you can see what I was talking about is getting heated up enough for that top to be able to start to bubble and get the air knife under it. But we're getting closer on this type of item. I think once we get this with similar parameters at 100%, I think it'll start to pop a lot easier. All right, back to the original piece. We're going to go completely opposite directions. We'll leave it at 80%. This will be the last one at 80. Everything else will move up to 100. But we'll go all the way up to 200 kilohertz and drop all the way down to 40 nanoseconds. So what we're getting is we're burning the surface back to it. Now I wasn't using the air knife on it, but I really wasn't using it much here either. But you can see the color difference. It's part of the grain, but you can see that. Let's do a test right up here with the air knife to see if it makes a difference. So there you have it. It's leaving the top coat. It's kind of burning it back on there. It did so a little bit here, but we actually have a different result all the way up at 200K and 40 nanoseconds. Sorry, I forgot to hit the record button, but here's two passes with it. We got more of a burning than an ablation type situation, so we had some flames. I'll show you all the way over here, so you can get kind of an idea of what I'm talking about. So we'll continue on right here. This is this setting. See a little more flames. Let's do a second pass. We're getting close to this, but definitely have more burning than ablation. On to the next piece. I missed the record button again. We went one pass over here. You can see the clear line where it did remove the top surface, but it's not near as clean. Let's do a second pass on it. Definitely has a distinct different color, but it did remove some of the stain. Didn't forget to record this time. So as you can see, it brought up larger chunks, whereas this just ablated into tiny little pieces. So it's definitely not an ideal setting. It does get it to come up. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of flames on Whitey. No, actually not. It's definitely a different color. I don't think it's getting as deep into the white as these were. Not an ideal setting, but it does kind of get you to a primer look. If you happen to do that, you'd need to take Scotch-Brite to it, smooth it out, but it does get you to the primer. This is another one where you got to get that top surface to come off. See what it does. So it did get it to pop, but you can see the clear discoloration. Let's take a second pass at it, see what it does. It did clean it up a little bit, but there is a definite line you can tell the difference. So let's see if we get any discoloration on this. So you can see under this surface that wood is discolored, so you might see some of that. Clearly not working near as well as the other ones. No point in carrying on. It's just not getting it. Actually, before I move on, I'm going to take this one. So this is 40 nanoseconds. Let's kick the nanoseconds up to, let's try 150. All right, we got it set to 150. So as you can see, changing the nanoseconds did absolutely no difference. All right, so now we're back to 100%, 65, and 85. 65 kilohertz, 85 nanoseconds. It's got a little bit of leftover. I think it has to do with being up in here as opposed to this. Let's go over this section that was terrible. and see if we can't clean that up a little bit. It's hard to tell, but it did clean it up a little bit. All right, so now we're at 100% on the gray paint. Remember, we're going to do 2 passes on this. Come back for the second pass. Not much difference between the 80% to the 100%. Kind of running out of area to clean on here. I don't think there's going to be a problem with this. Looks like it may have cleaned the wood a little bit brighter color than down here. Otherwise, pretty much the same results. Came out perfect. We're going to have good results, I'm pretty sure. Little bit darker there. I think almost 80% did a better job than the 100%. Let's take a second swipe past it. Cleaned up a little bit, but all in all, not a bad result. And as you know, you want to start with a lower power setting and move your way up. I'm happier with the 80% to the 100% on this. See what that 100% does to old Whitey here. You can see those darker spots where it's kind of burning it. I think this is down here is the best results. 80%, 100%, just too much juice going to it. I'd tone it back and leave a nice primered surface. This is another one of the surfaces where we want to try and get it to pop. Hopefully the 100% is not too powerful. Oh, see, I went the wrong direction. Got that little burn line. I'm happy with that. Came out good. Not sure if it was much different than the 80%, but that was good results. See how we do on this. Appears to be doing a really good job. Left a little bit right there. Second pass should clean that up. Why don't we, while we're at 100%, why don't we see if we can clean this up at all? You see that? We're getting it to pop. So as you can see, we were able to come back and get this layer that got burnt back down. We were able to come back and touch it up, clean it up. That's something to keep in mind. What I don't like is these were little knots in the wood that it kind of burned out the coloring. So that's something to keep in mind. You can see this knot in the wood, or fake knot, but you can see it took it right out. So something to keep in mind. It didn't do too bad over here. It did take some of the darkness out, but terrible results right there. But on to the next one. Let's see if we need one pass or two passes. I'm guessing two passes on the black one here. So there's your one pass. Let's get a second to clean it up. So as you can see, good results on black. Don't know how much faster the 100% is to the 80. I imagine it's a little bit faster. Pretty much same results. So if you recall, this one's the toughest one of the bunch where we're trying to get it to pop. Let's see if bumping up to 100% we can get it to, so we can get under it and get it to pop. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It's starting to heat it up to bubble, but we're still not getting it to pop like it should. We'll see if any of our settings get this to pop. I mean, I know it will. I just don't remember what settings I used to get it to pop. All right, so here we are back at the beginning. 100% power, 40 kilohertz, 250 nanoseconds. Everything else is the same. Excellent results. Perfect. Here we are again with the gray. We'll take two passes on it. That's one. Got us almost to where two passes had before. Almost got it all. Third pass, I'm sure we clean it up and get it. Best result so far. Kind of running out of stuff to clean on this one, so we'll start down in this corner. Nothing to say. Perfect. All right, onto this dark color. Need the definitely need the air knife for that. Woo. Does an amazing job. Before we had some of it where it would kind of get it to peel. This just ablated it in a, I don't know if you could see it in the camera, but it was blowing tiny pieces all the way back up into your face. Good results. All right, here's old Whitey again. You see that nice, bright, intense beam. So as you can see, just like the last one, a little too much power. I think for something white like this, best bet, tone it down to 80%, maybe 70%. Get you back to the primer. Good to go. 100%, just too much. Unless you want to just sit there and keep digging on it and try and get into the wood. I think it's a wasted effort. All right, I think we'll have good results. As you can see, we are. Second pass, clean it up, a little Scotch-Brite. Good to go. Good results. A little bit darker right there. I think you're better off at a lower power. All right, back in black. It's going to be one pass, two pass. Come back for the second cleanup pass. Good results. Black paint, I think I would stick with 100% instead of 80. Speed you up a little bit. All in all, happy with that. All right, this is the last one and the toughest one. Let's see if going 100% we can get it to get under it and pop. Still not. There it went. It's tough. It's tough to get it to pop. So you got to put some work into whatever this coating is to get it to pop. But when you get down into this area, once you get it to pop, you can typically keep working under it and get it to keep moving. But, you know, have your customer bring you a sample piece, and if you get into this and you have a hard time to get it to pop, remember you're gonna have to change that coat because it's gonna take you probably 3 times as long on something like this than say some of the other, basically all of the other pieces. Here we are back at the beginning, 100% power, 20 kilohertz, 450 nanoseconds, basically removing rust off of metal. Excellent results. As long as you keep it moving, you're not going to damage it. That compressor keeps getting us. Let's see how we do on this gray paint. One pass. See if we get down to the wood on the second. No, more so to the white. While we're here, let's give it a third pass. Close. This one's still the winner right there. I believe that's 40 and 250. Not sure. So many different settings. All right, should be a piece of cake. Yep, takes it right off. Works great. All right, so we skipped the white panel because we're just 100% power. We're just starting to do damage to it. No point in keep going over that one. Great results. Even got it a little bit lighter than everything else. Might be a setting to use on that type of stain. Even though it's pretty aggressive. All right, we got this lighter color again. Does really well. This dark color, it's just the wood underneath. Did good. Back to the black wood. It's going to take two. I don't think any of them is going to get it in one. It's definitely aggressive. Good results. Didn't burn the wood. Just got to keep that laser moving. All right, so the best or worst for last. This is the one we struggle with. Hopefully we can get it heated up enough to be able to get under it and pop it. I'm not going to start right here because I don't want to have this help facilitate us popping under it. So I'll move up a little bit, see if we can get it on our own. There it is. As you see right when we step down to, there it goes. It's next level. Once you get it to start to pop, it's easy to keep following behind and getting the next section to pop. So there you have it. Finally, we had to give it basically rust removing power in order to get this type of stain, varnish. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with it, exactly what it is to pop. But as you can see, once it pops, keep working that air knife or air gun right back behind it, and you're going to be able to get it to pop in decent sized chunks. But This is going to be a tough job to bid. All right, so here we are. This is the last test. We're doing 100% power, 200 kilohertz, 40 nanoseconds. If you guys remember, this gave us the worst results across the board of every different piece of wood. I think going 100% is only going to accentuate how terrible this setting is for trying to clean stain off of wood. But let's see. I was wrong. We're actually getting very good results. I guess that 100% took it over the threshold and was able to get that top coating off. That wasn't bad. All right, here we go with the gray. We'll give it 2 passes. Not bad results. Looks good. Perfectly acceptable results. Let's see how we do on this dark wood. Came out beautiful. All right, let's see if this just lifts it right off. Nothing to complain about. Now, if you recall, when we had it at 80% setting, that's where we got this dark spot that just didn't lift everything off. Let's see if 100% brings it back. Very good results. So that's your difference between 80% and 100%. Same settings. Looks fine to me. Let's see how it does compared to the rest of the other ones on black. Second pass. Look like acceptable results to me. All right, here's the last one. This is the one that we need the heat and power to get this to ablate enough where we can pop the top coating off. So far, really only one did it efficiently and successfully. Let's see if this will do. And we'll leave a gap in here so we're not catching off of here. Wow. That did really well. I did not think it was going to get it to pop. It got it to pop down here quicker than the 20 kilohertz, 450 nanoseconds. I'm really surprised. I don't know what to say. So in conclusion, what's your takeaway? We had all kinds of different settings going from one end of the spectrum to the other. We got, other than one or two items, basically the last one on each set, that we had to really get the heat up on the stain to get it to the top coating of top. All these different settings really didn't produce much difference in their results. When you did get to 100% on the white, we were getting a little more cleaning than we wanted. I would drop it down to 70, just get you right back down to that gray primer. But everybody screams about parameters. You got to get them dialed in just perfectly. I don't know that you do. As you can see, all these different parameters were, some were close, some were basically complete opposites. Tell me down in the comments, what do you think? How crucial are the parameters? You get close? Is it good enough? I don't know. Speaking just for wood and stains, and granted, this is not all the different stains that you could come across. Polyurethane is a bear. It's damn near impossible to get through it or to get it to come off. But just a thought experiment. What should I have done different? What can I do different? Let me know. Thanks for watching. I know this was long, but I appreciate you making it all the way through. Have a great day. Have a great week.